Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Mohun Bagan needed 3 points. It was a mandatory 3 points that they had to take from this match against Bengaluru. Well, they not only took 3 points, they did that with great fashion by scoring 3 goals as well, thanks to the brace by Katsumi. But for me, the favourite pick was Sony Norde. I mean, every time I watch this man play, my love for his game goes even more and more. And this match, I couldn't stop, going wow and just admiring the way this man plays. He is insane, and he's truly, truly like the man in need. It comes to he comes to the core, he comes down there, gives his 100%. Now, when Chiranjit had mentioned on the preview show that he might not be playing because he just reached a day before, he might be rested, but seeing him perform, give his best, it felt like he was resting all the while, and now he's come power packed.
He gave everything.
I know. I'm saying, it was insane. I mean, everyone. It was a team effort. We saw everyone up there. Balwant, Duffy, JJ coming into the party later on. Bengaluru were not there at all from the time the match started. Now you heard Chiranjit. He's joining us via Skype. Kevin is in the studio. He's quite silent because he said BFC would win. But before I get him to talk, I would also mention one point which Chiranjit said that in the preview show as well, was that BFC does have a good bench strength also. We know that. But seeing in this match, I mean, no. Mohun Bagan completely dominated, and they looked helpless. Now I will get Kevin to talk. Kevin.
That's a very bad note to start off and bring me in. Okay, so Bengaluru are not aiming for even a good position or a decent position in the I-League. That's very clear. Their focus is on AFC. That's the reason Lindo and Chetri never even saw the field in the 90 minutes. So it's all about priorities again. And out of the 3 games that they have back to back now in this 9 days, so an away travel to in the AFC Cup was there. So they had to think about rotation, but then I really didn't feel that they'll go so low in their desire to go for this Mohun Bagan travel, because it was there for them to just get a decent position or get at least a draw, at least something for the fans. They've not been giving their best, and it's very difficult to understand what is wrong with this team. Even though they have got big names in the team, they are not able to click. There's no reason, or they've not done anything wrong. And Mohun Bagan must be credited for all the effort that they put in, and all individual performances, team performances, the left wing, right wing, marking, pressing, everything was top notch for Mohun Bagan. Bengaluru were just chasing the ball and thoroughly enjoyable for any crowd that's watching this game. It's perfect in places. You have a balance, and even towards the end when Balwant came on, so that did not show that Sanjay Singh just wants to get 1 point, just easy 3 points. He did want to score even more. So that really tells high about this team's desire to go and aim for the title, and it's not going to be easy for East Bengal or Aizawl either way.
So before you come in, now even if it was a full-fledged team of BFC, I still feel the drive and determination was shown by Mohun Bagan in this match, because from the start they were pouncing. They were on the field, determined to get those 3 points. That was
absolutely, because it was Mohun Bagan who had to win. And it was and they were missing some players too. They were resting JJ. They were resting Pranay Haldar. I think they're going to rest Pranay in the AFC Cup match as well, because they want him fresh for the derby basically. So it's not like either team had their full strength on display, but Mohun Bagan definitely came in with that drive and passion, and they got lucky by this international break, because so many of these key players that they depend on for delivering their results, they got a lot of rest. So Sony Nortje traveled with his national team, but he did not get to play. So that allowed him to rest up even further. And now that he's back, you could see that his injury has healed a lot better, and he could do those accelerations, up the wing that really messes with the defenders. And at times he was like being guarded by 3-4 defenders, and he was still making his way through. So that what you saw was like Mohun Bagan at 100% of its capacity. They just gave everything. And Sunil and Eugenson, I think they were supposed to come on. Okay, Roca did not want to start them. They wanted them to come in at some point. So after the first goal, I think Sunil, Eugenson both were warming up at the sidelines. But after the halftime, I think Roca decided that enough is enough. He had decided to just let go of this game, because of the way Mohun Bagan were playing, and he decided to rest them through the entire game. So it felt decisive, and everybody, the game sold out, for the first time since Rabindra Sarovar became the home ground of Mohun Bagan, we saw a sellout, and the people were buying tickets in black. At like 4-5 times of its original price, and there was even some miscreants also, like who forced open a gate. About 10 minutes into the game, some fans just pretty much pushed through the barrier and came running in. So that added some 200-300 crowd. I mean, raucous atmosphere. A beautiful setting to play the game in, and what a beautiful game they put up. Albert Roca conceded at the end of the game in the post-match presser that he did prioritize. I mean, this is something I was talking about in the preview show, that will they be rested? And he said, yeah, I want to do well in AFC Cup, so I had to rest them. And you had, Sanjay Singh also conceding that this was the best performance put on by Mohun Bagan this season. So what they have done here is they have made a huge statement ahead of the derby. They're back in the title race, and 9th April, what a day it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Earlier you have a game between East Bengal and Mohun Bagan at Siliguri. Whoever wins will have a huge advantage in the title race. And then you have Bengaluru FC. Hopefully they will play full strength. They will host Aizawl FC, and if they take points out of Aizawl FC, it will become even more interesting. So what a way this has set up. And Bengaluru FC, Albert Roca looked like he had given up on the I-League, but I still hope they play for pride and make it easier for Mohun Bagan to go and claim the crown. So a lot of impact Bengaluru FC can still have in this season.
This won't happen, but I'm just saying, less like Trevor Morgan came out and said, I'm rooting for Bengaluru against Mohun Bagan.
By the way, Trevor Morgan was watching the game on TV.
Okay.
And 25 minutes in, the second goal goes in.
Yeah.
And he turned off the TV.
Of course. Every East Bengal fan must have watched this match and must have turned off after the 25th minute because, hey, you know what? They scored 2 goals. What I was trying to say is that just like Trevor Morgan was rooting to Bengaluru against Mohun Bagan, Sanjay Singh will be rooting for Bengaluru against Aizawl, saying that Aizawl drop points after the derby. So it's going to be an insane
this
stuff.
becomes more interesting,
Yeah, it's like the dependence on other team and this team, and that's how it's going to work now. And it's crazy. I mean, thankfully, like Mohun Bagan took the point, it's made it more interesting now. It's just opened up the game, and they really have to fight it. Whoever is in the race now, we clearly know this. There are 3 teams fighting for the top, and it's a true fight, like an actual fight and war going to be there for I-League champions. Well, a great match, and amazing stuff to kick off the I-League.
By the way, another way this game has helped a lot is because these young kids who got exposure.
Malik.
Azharuddin Malik.
He played amazing.
What a brilliant game. He could have even scored. I mean, he had a good chance.
Close.
He missed it. Yeah, but this is like he's played a couple of derbies now, and he's played this game. He's gaining confidence.
He proved you wrong, by the way. You said
he did. And I'll happily admit that he's proving me wrong. He's growing very fast as a player. So if he gets put in the lineup or gets brought on as a substitute during the derby, my heart will not like go out of control, straight away. But that's another big thing. A lot of youngsters got a chance to play, and just getting exposed to these big games, it really sets it up, because the rest of the games are going to be pressure cooker for Bengaluru FC. And they played like 4 19-year-olds in their starting lineup. So even those players are benefiting from playing matches like this, from experiencing situations like this, where you have like 14,000 people are just chanting "FU" to you, and you have to play through that. So all of these, everybody I think who took part in this game grew in some way.
Yeah, including the fans who are watching on the pitch and off it. Well, amazing, as I was saying, an amazing match to kick off, I-League that resumes after the international break. Now from here on it's just going to be heated up, as we know. Well, that's about the match. Now we move on to something news that we came about. Now AIFF is planning to introduce this new invitational multi-continental Champions Cup competition, and it's going to begin in August 2017 is what they've said. They also said that this proposed cup will be an annual affair played between 4 countries. Now, Chiranjit, I want to ask you a question. I saw one of the tweets that said basically they just renamed what was called Nehru Cup. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was going to say. But so that's what they're going to do. The National League is going to become ISL. The Federation Cup will be Super Cup, and Nehru Cup will be Champions Cup. So all
some
rebranded.
Fancy names.
And who owns the rights to those names?
Yes.
So it's all there. But what I'm wondering is. What are these teams who are going to come and play? Are champions of, Champions Trophy, Champions League, what it means for people to come in here, and you have this invitational tournament and you call it Champions Cup. But either way, it's a good thing. In August, you will have the best of the players playing for the national team, getting some good exposure. And if they can get some nice teams coming in who are ranked higher than us, from East Asia, from North Africa, to begin with, then it's great. Then it's pretty good.
Well, crazy stuff. Now, Kevin, what are your thoughts on this? Good for the national team?
I think it's great. 2017 has been great for India, and especially the last few years. That's Constantine in his second stint in India is really doing wonders. You can't credit this to Constantine, but then yes, the team is performing so well that AIFF is compelled to do something for the national team, and organizing friendlies is one good thing on their part that they've been doing, and this is also something very big. It's really a great year for Indian football, and more and more is being talked about the national team. We saw it trending when the games that we've seen in the last few months. So it's again something for us to watch and even more to talk about. It's going to help the national team. It's going to help Indian football in all aspects, from grassroots and youth development, the homegrown rule that has been introduced in the youth leagues. This is all This is all coming together. It's really good. So we are heading in the right path.
Yeah, brilliant point mentioned by Kevin. The homegrown rules and having the national team as the crux of something. You have to project it as a success.
Yeah.
And here's what I know this is like super positive. I finally applaud. The AIFF is thinking about the homegrown rules, and hopefully that will now it's in youth. It's gonna come all the way up to the first team, and we will see. Every team required to field a player that's come out of their own academy or something like that. But I so hope, I so wish actually that this had been done earlier. This just shows how much you can do if you take an initiative.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, IMG Reliance have been around since 2010. A lot of their personnel have been with Indian football for like 5-6 years now.
Yep.
Yet in 2014, before the ISL was launched, like right after it, we hit like a historic low of 173 ranking. That's a result of negligence. And now that it's good for their brand to just come out and promote the national team. Now they're getting the good matches. Now they're getting the right kind of opponents, and we're going to suddenly go up to 101.
Yeah.
Historic high. So that just shows, man. I mean, why that's what my anguish is about this. If we started this 5 years earlier, what was stopping us from starting this 5 years earlier? We would have been in such a better place right now if we had started this earlier. But
as I say, it's never too late.
Yeah, it's never too late. Never take away the positivity from this. That it's finally happening. We are going to see the benefits of this from in like 5-6 years. It's gonna the game of football, the quality is gonna suddenly shoot up. But what we have here is the difference between playing the World Cup in 2026 and 2034.
Yeah.
So we start now, we play in 2034. There's no way we make it before that.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Hopefully we'll still be around to see it. But there is no denying that just seeing them, take initiatives over the last 1 year. The merger is being pushed through. There are more comprehensive club licensing terms that are coming in, homegrown rule and everything, and the national team getting so much attention and so much labor behind it.
Yeah.
And it's evolving in front of every one of us. It's sheer joy, and it's great time to be an Indian football fan.
Yeah.
What else can you say?
Exactly. And it's good that every show that we end, we are ending it on a positive note, as in saying that, hey, it's a great time to be, from the time, if you remember Chiranjeev and Kevin, from the time BFC made it to the finals of the AFC Cup, last time, and since now till then, it's been crazy ride, and it's onwards and upwards, not looking back from there on, which is great and amazing for Indian football and for the fans as well. Now that's all for today's show. If you enjoy the show, do hit like, share, subscribe to our channel on our YouTube. Hit the bell icon so you get updates of our new episode. You can also listen to our podcast on Audio Boom, SoundCloud, iTunes, and various other podcasting apps. Also download the IVM podcast app on iOS and Android. We can also talk to us directly on Twitter, Boza_Kevin, Chiranjeet Oja, Suju Matthew 94. Also follow TFG Football on Twitter. Have a great day, folks. Cheers.
Hey man, just help me out, man. I need some podcast, man. I haven't had a fix in a week. Just need some.
Don't you worry about it. I got podcasts galore for you, man. Just go to ivmpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna check it out.